Hello students, we are to continue with the topic transportation. Let us first focus on the topic heart. Heart is the main pumping organ. It is located in the chest cavity between the lungs. It is well protected by the rib cage. It is about the size of your fist and slightly tilted to the left. In humans, heart is four-chambered with two upper chambers and two lower ones. The upper chambers are known as the atria, while the lower ones are known as the ventricles. The walls of the ventricles are thicker than that of the atria. This is because pumping takes place in the ventricles, and to withstand this pressure, the walls need to be thicker. Between the atria and the ventricles are present valves. Valves prevent the backflow of blood, and the right side and the left side of the heart is completely separated. Therefore, there is no mixing of oxygen-rich blood and carbon dioxide-rich blood. Now let us see circulation in humans. Circulation in humans is called double circulation because blood enters the heart twice. That is, there is an oxygen cycle and a deoxygen cycle. Now let us see this in detail. Oxygen-rich blood is brought from the lungs to the left atrium, and the left atrium contracts. Blood flows into the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, blood is pumped to all the parts of the body through the main blood vessel, that is the aorta. Now, blood from the lungs is brought into the left atrium by the blood vessel known as pulmonary vein. Here you should know that it is known as pulmonary vein because it brings in blood, though it carries oxygen-rich blood. With this, the oxygen cycle is over. Now let us see the deoxygen cycle. The deoxygenated blood from the upper part of the body and the lower part of the body is brought into the right atrium by the blood vessel known as vena cava. When the right atrium collects blood, it relaxes. Now the ventricle, when it expands, the right atrium contracts, the valves open and blood flows from the right atrium to the right ventricle. This carbon dioxide rich blood is then taken to the lungs from the right ventricle by a blood vessel known as pulmonary artery. It is known as pulmonary artery because it carries blood away from the heart, though it carries carbon dioxide rich blood. With this, the deoxygen cycle is also over. Thus, the blood enters the heart twice. Now, I previously told you that the right side and the left side are completely separated. This helps in no mixing of blood. That means the deoxygenated blood and the oxygenated blood does not mix. this is of great significance. You know, human beings are warm-blooded animals. That means they are homeotherms. So what does this mean? This means that human beings can maintain a constant body temperature. Their body temperature does not vary or depend according to the temperature or the atmospheric conditions. This is possible because they have a lot of energy, and this is possible because there is no mixing of blood. When there is no mixing of blood, the amount of oxygen in the blood is more, and therefore lot of energy is released, and this energy is utilized to maintain a constant body temperature. While in amphibians, reptiles and fishes, they are known as poikilotherms. That means cold-blooded animals. They cannot maintain a constant body temperature. Their body temperature varies according to the conditions of the atmosphere. In their case, there is mixing of blood. That means the oxygen-rich blood and the carbon dioxide-rich blood mixes. As a result, the amount of energy produced is less, and therefore they cannot maintain a constant body temperature. In fishes, they have a two-chambered heart, while in amphibians and reptiles, they have a three-chambered heart. Exception is crocodiles. In all these cases, there is mixing of oxygen-rich blood and carbon dioxide-rich blood. As a result, the amount of energy produced is less, and therefore they cannot maintain a constant body temperature. So to escape the harsh atmospheric conditions, they have developed certain methods such as summer sleep, aestivation, winter sleep, that is hibernation, migration, etc. Let us next focus on blood pressure. What is the definition of blood pressure? The amount of pressure exerted by the blood on the arteries. Now, when the arteries contract, the blood pressure at this time is known as systolic pressure, and when the arteries relax, the pressure is known as diastolic pressure. In human beings, the systolic pressure is 120, while the diastolic pressure is 80. High blood pressure is otherwise known as hypertension, and the instrument that is used to measure pressure is known as sphygmomanometer. Hypertension is caused due to the constriction of arterioles, and thus it hampers the blood flow. This may result in the rupture of the blood vessels. So hypertension is quite dangerous, and if we have that, we should immediately meet our physician and take medicines for that. Next, let us discuss the topic blood vessels. There are three types of blood vessels in our body, that is arteries, veins and capillaries. Let us see what are arteries. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. They carry oxygen-rich blood. They are larger in size and blood flows under high pressure or great pressure through the arteries. They do not have valves. While veins carry blood to the heart, they carry oxygen-rich blood. They carry deoxygenated blood and the size is less, pressure is low, and they have valves. Now, why do veins have valves? Because the pressure in the veins is less. So, to prevent the backflow of blood, they require valves. Now, what are capillaries? Capillaries are the smallest blood vessel of 1 cell thickness and they facilitate diffusion. Next, let us see the importance of platelets. Platelets are required for the clotting of blood. Suppose we have an injury, there will be blood loss, and if this blood loss is not contained, it will result in the dropping of the blood pressure. So, blood loss along with dropping of the blood pressure will affect the efficiency of the heart. Platelets circulate in the body and they plug the region of the injury by clotting of the blood. Next, let us see what is lymph. Lymph is another liquid which helps in transportation. Certain amount of plasma and proteins escape from the capillaries and they occupy the extracellular spaces. This extracellular fluid is known as lymph. Now, what is the difference between lymph and plasma? Lymph is colorless and contains less amount of proteins, while plasma is a straw-colored liquid and contains more amount of proteins. The lymph is drained into the lymphatic capillaries, and the capillaries, from the capillaries it is drained into lymphatic vessels, and from the lymphatic vessels to the large veins. What are the two functions of lymph? Lymph helps to carry digested fat from the small intestine and also it drains excess fluid from the extracellular spaces back into the blood. Thank you.